Hey everyone, and welcome back. I'm out on a overnight hike this time around, just in Auckland actually. We are out on the west coast in the Waitakere Ranges. Behind me there is Whatapu Beach, and I've just climbed up from Whatapu. Bit of a good steep climb, and I'm just hiking over top of this ridge that I'm going up and down into the following valley and out to the beach where there is a council campsite, and I'm going to stay there for the night. So it's a little short overnight trip on the weekend, and hoping to try get some photography as well. Some beautiful sand dunes, and may even get a bit of astro if the weather stays clear. As you can see behind me, there's not a cloud in the sky at the moment. So yeah, we're going to be leaving Whatapu shortly, but this is it behind me here. It's a scenic scientific reserve owned by the Department of Conservation, and it's a very interesting place because all this land you can see up behind me, down all the way to the water, this only existed from the 1930s onwards. So from at about in the 1920s, late 19th century, the coast came all the way up to the bluffs at the bottom of this ridge that I'm climbing up, and this was all ocean, and it's just built up over like 30, 40, 50 years. So behind me here is one of the many closed tracks in the Waitakere. So this used to be a junction, and a track went off in there, but it's been closed. It's probably not going to reopen. That's because of kauri dieback, so the majority of the tracks in the Waitakeres will not be reopened. And you can see the standard of track that they have to upgrade to. The track we've been walking on today, very high standard, and that's really the reason why so many tracks are still closed, is because it's just too expensive to upgrade. It's a real shame, but anyway, we'll carry on. Hey, so we have topped the ridge now, and you can just see them behind. We're going to follow up around this way, and I'll swing you around. You're looking right into the sun, so I don't know how well you'll be able to see, but you can see the coast down here, and we're going to go over that ridge and behind, and there's a valley in behind there that comes out to the sea, and in a very similar landscape to what you've got down here. There's a campsite, so that's where we'll be. So you can see why I want to come around here. Just from above, you can see the photographic potential with these little lagoons and things that are in amongst the sand dunes. Yeah, it's a pretty epic landscape. So looking forward to getting down there and having a little explore for some compositions. Welcome to the Paraha Valley. Pretty epic place. So we've come over the ridge and we come down into this really steep valley with these massive bluffs you can see behind me, and there's a campsite just at the bottom here, and then we carry on out to the coast where there's the second campsite. This is a really epic landscape. It's remnants of an ancient Waitakere volcano that formed the Waitakere Ranges. So these are big basalt cliff faces, very, very hard rock, which is why they've survived. And then you've just got this dense New Zealand mixed podocarp forest in amongst it. Beautiful, beautiful landscape, really wild. So this is the Paraha Valley behind us, and it is pretty epic. We've got these huge bluffs overhead, beautiful stream running through, and they reopened the track recently after they built this really cool bridge. Reason being that obviously you can see it's a really steep valley on the west coast, so when it rains a lot, which happens frequently, the stream floods, and there was a small bridge here and it all got washed away, so they built this really cool, really massive bridge. Yeah, this is one of my favourite spots in the Waitakere Ranges. It's really cool here. So we've got about 20-30 minutes walk out to the coast. And then I'll show you the next campsite. We just stopped in for a bit of a snack and a refill of water at Paraha Valley campsite. It's a really cool campsite. I stayed there when I did the Hillary Trail, but it's obviously in this really steep valley, so it's not so good for astro and stuff, which is why we're staying at the coast. But I'm not sure if there's actually running water at the campsite down at the beach, so topped up, we've got 3 litres of water, and should be good for the night. Let's carry on. We've left the valley behind. You can see it behind me. It looks incredible. Beautiful late afternoon sun, and we are hitting the beach. So I've got sand on my feet, and we're going to go over a few dunes here, and then we'll find the campsite. So not too far to go. Yeah, it's epic. It's such a beautiful day. There's barely any wind, there's barely any cloud. Oh, it's a stunner. Should be an amazing night too. Doesn't get any better than this, does it? So good. Welcome to Tunnel Point Campsite. Check out this epic place. So we've arrived. I will stop my march. It's taken me about 3.5 hours. I think the posted time was about just under 3 hours to Paraha Valley, and then it's another 40 minutes, so slightly shorter the time. I'm pretty fit, but I was obviously shooting videos and stuff quite a lot, so I think if you're a fit person you could probably do it in 2 hours pretty comfortably. There is water here. There's a shelter, and the roof of the shelter collects water into a tank, and then there's a sink and tap, so I didn't need to fill up the water at the other campsite, but hey, never mind. This is a epic place. It's just stunning. There's these huge cliffs all around. You're in this nice flat area. There's a little lagoon over there which I'll go have a look at, and then you've just got this big rocky kind of outcrop behind the camera with Pahutakawa all over it, and the sun's just going behind that now, so we are starting to lose the sun. You can see most of the area around here is in shade, but yeah, this is just a stunning little spot. I'm going to just do a little scout around, find somewhere to set up my tent, and I'll put that all up, and then I'm going to go for a little bit of a wander and see if I can't get some photographs. Beautiful campsite. Bought myself a packet of chips, and they're a bit the worse for wear. I guess they've popped and the ears come out. Hopefully they're still edible. Sure they will be. And some good crunch. So it is about 4:30, and the sun sets at about 5:20, so 5:25. So I've got about an hour. So yeah, I've got a little whiles before sunset. I might even have my dinner before sunset. Maybe I'll eat now, and then hopefully I should have time after that to go have a look for sunset photos, because I think it's better to eat a little bit before it's time for bed, and also I haven't had any lunch today, so yeah, I might have some food, and then we'll go for a bit of a wander. So today's dinner, we're using real meals again. It's a really short walk, and I could have just used like fresh food, but as I think I mentioned in the previous video, I've got tons and tons of D-high meals from my Te Araroa walk, so I'm wanting to use those up. It'll be interesting to see how well these last, because a lot of them are past their best before date. They're a bit kind of chunky and crumbly, so we'll see. I don't know, might be interesting. They might need a little longer to dehydrate maybe. This is best before 10th of December 2023, so yeah, not that long ago. So in my experience, there's two tricks to these meals, and that is stir them really thoroughly and let them sit for a lot longer than they say to. I think this one says 10 minutes. I usually let them sit for about 15 or 20 sometimes, actually, to be honest. Makes all the difference in the world. Evening everyone, well, I am in the tent, and I guess I'll go to bed soon because it's dark. It's only about 7:30, but yeah, there's not much going on outside. My friend the possum keeps coming back, so I chase him off, but all my stuff's inside the tent or the vestibule, and I don't think I'll have any problems. It's a shame there wasn't really much in the way of photography opportunities, but never mind. I still had a really nice evening and a really nice walk, and so I'm going to try get up a little bit before sunrise tomorrow, and try have a look at the cloud. If there's no cloud, I should be able to get some cool shots of the setting Milky Way. So the galactic center should be sitting just above the horizon just before sunrise. So that could be quite a cool shot. So we'll see what the light looks like in the morning. Give you a wee tour of the tent, but she's pretty cramped. So this is basically my world. Got my UGQ quilt, and got my fairy lights up above and my headlamp, and yeah, that's it. This is the sides of the tent. She's pretty narrow, not much room in here. See you in the morning. Good morning everyone. Well, it was a pretty decent night. I slept a little cold, which I kind of anticipated because my sleeping pad's not really warm enough. for how cold it was, since it is the middle of winter. But otherwise, yeah, not too bad. I need a new pillow. It's got mold all over it, so that was kind of disturbing. Otherwise, not bad. The photography didn't go so well, unfortunately. I got up at about 5 to photograph the setting Milky Way, and when I first got up, it was relatively clear, but by the time I found a position to photograph in, the clouds had started to roll in. So it was forecast to cloud up today, and it's going to rain later today. So yeah, the timing, unfortunately, it didn't quite work out. I probably should have got up a little bit earlier and got the Milky Way when it was higher in the sky, and then it would have been clear. Never mind. I'm gonna dial up some coffee, warm myself up with a cup of coffee, and then I'll gradually start packing away. It's a nice easy walk along the beach to get home today, so I'll probably try to get back before lunch and have some lunch with Angie. Alright, coffee time. So this is my go-to coffee. Coffee in a bag. Beautiful. Right everyone, I've had my coffee and I've had my breakfast. So I'm just going to enjoy this morning for a little bit longer, and then I'm going to pack up and get on out of here, and we'll head on down to the beach. Yeah, it's a Sunday, so I'm sure before too long we'll start to see people coming through, so I'm going to pack up and get on out of here. Alright everyone, well I'm all packed up and loaded up. As you can see, I've got the big boy on my back, and we're going to head off. So it's been a beautiful camp. It's clouding up a bit now, there is rain forecast. We're going to skedaddle and get back to the car, get back to some warm food, and I'm going to be meeting Angie for lunch, which will be really nice. We're going to be walking back along the beach, so that beach that you saw when we were climbing out of Whatapu, we're going to go out along there, right around the outside and back into Whatapu on the beach. And as we go, I might just share with you some of the really interesting geology of this area and how these beaches have formed, because it's quite interesting. But that's it for me. This has been an awesome camp here at Tunnel Point. I'll definitely be back again, I think. And I'm hoping for the day when the Hillary Trail reopens so that I can do that again with Angie. Alright, let's head on out, and we'll see you on the beach. Now I gotta get the photos. I see a panorama. Wow, that was a mad panic. So I was just shooting a shot of walking through here and this amazing rainbow just appeared. You can just, there's a little remnant of it there that you probably can't see, but it's all gone. So I just had a mad panic, just handheld, trying to get a few shots of that. So I got this nice wide with these sand dunes as a foreground and the rainbow over the top, and then I also did a handheld panorama of the same frame. Didn't have much time for anything else. It was a mad panic. You know how it is with a rainbow, it comes and it goes. Wow, that was awesome. I did not expect that at all. Yeah, that was really cool. Woo! All right. Whatapu Scientific Reserve. I hope you can hear me. It's getting pretty windy. It's the west coast for you. So, this sand, where did it come from? You may remember I mentioned yesterday that the beach at Whatapu didn't exist until the early 20th century. And the reality is, if you swing around, you can see the coast going way up to the north. And that's where all those iconic west coast beaches are. So just north of Whatapu, you have Karikari, where they filmed the piano. And then you've got Piha, you've got Tahinga and Murawai. And these are all black sand beaches. And maybe, I don't know, 400 or 500 years ago, none of those beaches existed. This didn't exist. The sea came all the way up to these cliffs here. So, what's the story? Well, in the central North Island happens to be one of the largest, most active, most powerful volcanic zones in the world at the moment, which is the Taupō volcanic zone. Most people who know a bit about New Zealand probably know that the central North Island has a bunch of volcanoes in the centre: Ruapehu, Tongariro, Ngātahoe, but just north of there is Lake Taupō, which is New Zealand's largest lake. And not only is it New Zealand's largest lake, it's actually New Zealand's largest volcano. And it's one of the largest volcanoes in the world. In fact, a couple of the more recent Taupō eruptions are some of the largest volcanic eruptions that we know about that have ever happened on Earth. One of those happened, sorry, big blast of wind. One of those was the Hatipi eruption, which happened in about 200 AD, so about 1800 years ago or so. So this, what was particularly interesting about this volcano is how quickly it erupted. And the main part of that eruption was one single massive pyroclastic flow. This pyroclastic flow devastated the entire central North Island in a space of about 10 or 15 minutes. It spread out faster than the speed of sound, with so much force that in a lot of places the pyroclastic flow actually scoured off more land from places than it deposited in terms of volcanic debris. It overtopped the surrounding mountains to a height of about 1,500 meters or 4,500 feet. Only Mount Ruapehu was large enough to actually divert the flow. All life within about 70 kilometers of the vent was sterilized, so not a bug, not a leaf, nothing survived. It started wildfires as much as 150 kilometers away. So this was a big eruption, to say the least. And what this eruption did is dumped trillions of tons, maybe, I don't know the number, lots of volcanic debris all over the central North Island. And then gradually the crater vent that had collapsed refilled with water to form what is now modern day Lake Taupo. They think that probably took about 70 years to refill, and a large pumice dam that had formed at the outlet of the lake failed, sending a massive torrent down the Waikato River. And then after that, the Waikato would have continued to carry volcanic debris and sediment up its course to Port Waikato, which is south of here on the west coast, and dumped that debris out on the west coast. And then, because the prevailing currents here are northerly and westerly, you get longshore drift in this part of the world, which carries debris north. So you can see where I'm heading with this. Basically, this sand was once inside the Taupo volcano, and it's gradually been making its way north ever since. When Europeans first arrived in New Zealand, as I say, the sand I'm walking on didn't exist. The sea at Whatapu came right up to the cliffs, but local Maori in their oral traditions told the settlers that arrived that before they arrived there had been a land south of the Manukau harbour, so I'll show you that when we get around there, all the way from what is now the Manukau harbour to the mouth of the Waikato, and there was a vast plain of low-lying land with sandy soil that stretched out to sea. And this land was perfect for growing kumara and taro. It was heavily cultivated by local Maori, and this land was called Paira. And then over the years the ocean ate it up, according to what local Maori said to the settlers, until it had disappeared. The other thing, as they said, was that the Manukau harbour did not exist. The Manukau harbour was land, it was dry land, again with sandy soil and kauri trees growing on it. Now kauri take a long time to grow, so this had been like this for a long time. And just as Paura was eaten by the sea, so the Manukau harbour was claimed by the sea. So all that sand that filled the harbour, that sandy soil that formed this, what was called the Maori Atlantis, it came out of the Taupo eruption. It was carried by the Waikato River down to the coast, deposited, and then it's gradually making its way north. It now lies within these west coast beaches at Whatapu, at Karikari, Piha, Tehinga and Murawai, and it will continue to carry its way for further and further north to who knows when. Still on the beach, getting TA vibes. It's like a blast from the past. Not quite so long, a bit more beautiful landscape, a bit colder, but not probably windier. Been going for, I don't know, an hour or so. should be rounding the corner soon. I can see a Whitu Peninsula ahead, so not too far to go. Woo! So here we are, Wharapu Beach, and this is what I was talking about. Now I hope you can hear me. The wind's really howling through the Manukau heads just behind me there, and I'm trying to keep my back to the wind so that the microphone's a bit protected, but sorry if it's a bit hard to hear me. But here we are. Out here on my left, these are the Whitu cliffs, and these cliffs carry on all the way down the coast. You can see, actually you probably can't, it's out of shot, but all the way down to the mouth of the Waikato River. And this is the area where once upon a time none of this sand existed. The sea came all the way up to the cliffs at Wharapu, which is out to my right. And out on my left instead, there was this vast plain of sand, what settlers when they arrived called the Maori Atlantis. And this plain of sandy soil with small trees and shrubs and lagoons, that was where the Maori grew taro and kumara because of the nice warm sandy soil. It stretched, we don't know how far out to sea, but all the way from the base of those cliffs out into what is now the ocean, maybe a kilometre, maybe further, and it stretched all the way from here all the way to the mouth of the Waikato, and all of that has now gone. It's been eaten up by the ocean, and you can see why. Today's a perfect example. There's bad weather, a front coming in this evening, and already the sea is pretty rough out there. The legendary Maori explorer Kupe, when he did his first circumnavigation of New Zealand in his waka, Aotearoa, he was being pursued as he came down the west coast of the North Island, and when he reached Wharapu, at one of the rocks that you can see behind me, he performed a karakia, which is a sort of ritual chant or spell, and he threw his enchanted clothes into the ocean and caused it to rise up in a storm and choppy and rough, which enabled him to escape his pursuers. And the ocean's been like this ever since, and it's that stormy, violent ocean here that ate away this plain, that drained the Manukau harbour, and it is gradually carrying all of the sand from Taupo north. Let's head on in now. We've just got to head into these beautiful cliffs around here to my right, and then we're back at the car. I'm going to leave it here unless I get a photo opportunity when I get back. So thank you very, very much for watching this video, for coming along with me on this little local trip in Auckland. I hope you can get outside yourself and enjoy the outdoors, and I'll see you on my next adventure. Take care.
I'm gonna dance by myself like nobody's watching. Don't really care if my rhythm's off, 'cause I'm gonna dance like nobody's watching me. I'm gonna dance by myself like nobody's watching. Don't really care if my rhythm's off, 'cause I'm gonna dance like nobody's watching me. I'm gonna dance, 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 dance. I'm gonna dance, dance, dance.
Can't meet me on the beach unless I bring you with me, so I'll do that, eh?
I'm gonna dance.